Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, otakus, welcome back to the Anime Lately podcast. This is episode 25, and tonight, or today, whenever you listen to this, I am your host. It's me, your boy, Ray Apollo. Unfortunately, Sam, the Mega Man, is not with us. Can I have a moment of silence, please? Can we pour out some Pocky for our boy? Anyway, he's not dead. He just, got stuck on a train and couldn't make it hang out with us tonight. So, Sam, we're thinking about you. We appreciate you. Get your homework done, nerd. Anyway, as always, you know him. You love him. Our legendary co-host, the true believer, the legend in the Black Clover community. He has a great love of Trigun and One Piece. The one, the amazing, the spectacular legend Divash Miguel Parra. What's up, my guy? How you doing?
Doing good. Thank you. Love the intro.
I'm glad you're here. All right, next. You know him. You love him. He thinks Sekai Cheap Magician is good, but he's wrong. The CEO of Careful for Spoilers Podcast Network, the founder of the No Anime, No Life Facebook group, which is great, by the way. You should go find it and join it. Also, he has a great and vast knowledge and love of movies. Our boy, the great and talented JB, James Barnes. Welcome back, my friend. How are you?
I am very excited to be back on episode 25 of the podcast. Let's go, guys.
25, unless I read that wrong at the top of the page. I didn't write this. So, I'm assuming that's what episode is. Oh, but I'm so happy to see you boys. Like I said, I miss Sam, but the show must go on sometimes. So, I guess, this is where we kind of talk about what we've been watching, but we want to start with the summer anime that we have been. Wait, is it summer or fall? See, fall. God dang it! I'm gonna change that right now. We're gonna keep watching our fall anime, but we've only been watching 4 that we like to talk about. It's kind of our main boilerplate for the show, and that starts with Dr. Stone. Then we're gonna talk about Fire Force. Then we're gonna talk about My Hero Academia season 4 episode 2, and then of course we'll round out with Vinland Saga because that was juicy. And we're going to talk about one manga this week as a group. Well, Miguel, you didn't catch up yet. So James and I might fangirl about it for a little bit.
No worries.
Just a little bit.
I'll just be chilling in the back, having a little coffee here, a little mug. I'll be like, yeah, do your thing.
That's all good. So why not? Let's start with one of the best episodes we got this week. Let's talk about Dr. Stone, episode 16. Miguel, how'd you feel?
This episode was great. I love it. I read past this arc, so it's exciting to see this arc happen. The Ishigami arc and seeing his father and seeing the 6 survivors of the world, the only 6, from what they assume and what it is from the perspective, the whole world just turned to stone, and it's great. And now Senku just met his great niece and nephews and uncles. That was pretty cool. So I love that. That was a great adaptation of the arc, and I love it. And just to see his father love of his son and love of science is pretty amazing. And I haven't seen Astronauts in Space, so seeing animation in gravity was very different from me because not something I'm used to. So seeing them like moving in the spaceship, well, it felt like it worked, but at the same time I had to get used to it because it felt like still shots moving very slowly. That's what it felt like, and it's not something I'm used to. That is one of the things that really stand out in the episode for me. And second, her voice was beautiful the way she sang.
Oh, phenomenal!
I did not know they were gonna do it English dub because she was an American person in the manga and in the anime, but I didn't expect them to do an American song. I thought maybe in the dub they would do it. But in the Japanese, it was amazing. It just threw me out. Like, I wouldn't mind if this was the whole rest of the whole episode. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to just hear a concert right now. I'm good with this. So this was a good episode.
That was a surprise for me, too. I was kind of shook. I was like, oh, that's right. She's American. So she's singing an English song. So, okay. And it was a great song. I mean, really good. So I need to look up who sang that because it was fantastic. I was like, dang, girl, please. Thank you. I was like, encore. I loved it. James, I really wanted to know how you felt because they telegraphed it so well when they were telling the story that like it took maybe 10, 15 minutes. But after they, started talking about it, they started talking about his dad and how he really cared about his son and his dreams. I was like, oh my God, no. Like, what would happen to the people who were in space? They would be completely unaffected. And I was like, oh, like it just, my whole mind was like blown the first 15 minutes of the show.
Yeah, like I figured it out pretty early on in the episode. The moment that we found out that his dad was training to be an astronaut, I was like, oh, this is what happens. This is how the entire village is named after him, because he goes to space and then everything happens and then he comes back. I was like, boom. Now, what I didn't think about was the fact that everyone else, I didn't realize there was going to be more crew. And then I see the faces of the crew and I'm like, oh, these are faces that I recognize from the village, and these are their ancestors, pretty much. Mm-hmm. This is some great shit. Dr. Stone is getting into some really cool stuff. I mean, it has been since episode 1, but this is really intriguing to see how the village started. You get to see Senku's father's drive, which is pretty similar to his, mm-hmm. So it was a really, really good episode.
It was one of those things that I took like 5 steps back, and I was like, this is why they were all in specific places when they all woke up in certain situations. It was his dad. His dad set this up and knew that he wouldn't be able to solve it now, but Senku could. And so he set him up to be in a spot where he would be prepared for whatever season he woke up in. And I was just like, oh my God, that's where it all started.
Because Senku has a line of dialogue in the first couple of episodes where mm-hmm. he's wondering how he got from where he was at the school to where he is without being injured at all, without being broken, anything. So how did he make it? Now we know.
Yep, now we know. And because he was kind of like, remember, he was also in kind of like a weird, like shallow grave almost. So it was like, okay, this is all starting to make a lot of sense now. It's been planned. So it was really cool to see. You're right. They're doing a really good job of telling the story. And I really appreciate them taking the time to they tell it in a way that they don't assume that you have paid attention to every single thing. But when you pay attention to just enough, it's like, oh, we do have some treats, some little things sprinkled throughout that will, keep you going, which I love that. It's good storytelling. Great characters.
Agreed.
So if that's all we have for that one, let's talk about Fire Force. Episode 13.
Yo, this episode got me, I don't know, not mad. It's like, so some dude could just mess up your whole face by heating up your blood cells?
It's nasty.
I'm like,
it was all nasty.
What?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I was like, okay, so y'all just over here boiling people's faces into different people's faces.
Yep.
Cool. That's nasty.
And Sam brought up a good comparison of his character because the dude saw art. And remember Naruto, my man with the art and the clay, Deira? He's the same thing. Yeah, so Sam brought that comparison.
They are similar characters. You're right.
Yeah. So Sam was like, yo, that's a good comparison, because when the dude got mad about not coming the way he wanted with the eyes and the eyebrows and everything, being exact, he said, you know what, I'm going to destroy you. And somehow it just happened like, I guess it happens. All right, next person. So it was very creative.
He boiled his head and it blew up, and that's nasty.
And I'm happy they didn't shy away from the blood, so that's pretty sad and pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely not.
And Shinra and Arthur, can y'all fucking work together? Because y'all suck working together.
I thought that was fun. Like, I was like, yeah, they hate each other. They've never actually practiced with each other to fight with each other. So that made sense. I was like, I was actually might have been a little annoyed all of a sudden they knew how to perfectly combo attack with each other. That would have been weird because they can't stand each other.
Yeah,
they want to be the hero. They're both fighting to be the main protagonist. You know what I'm saying?
Because
I don't know.
It kind of was trial and error for both of them to try to work at the okay, you go on top, I go on the bottom. Okay, they smack each other again. Like, no, you go on top, you go on the bottom. Like, come on, guys, just get it together. At least just do one hit combo at least once. You guys did it a good 5-6 episodes ago when you guys took out the guy from the courthouse. This time, do it again. Come on.
Yeah, but this is more realistic. They're fighting people that have fought together for a while. They've trained together for a while.
Right.
they're not ready for this fight. I mean, they do a good job because they're both individually really strong.
Really talented, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they were able to put it together somehow, but I mean, they're just not experienced, and I agree with Ray, it just wouldn't feel real if they could just do it instantly.
Mhm.
Like, it would just not feel real. Like, it wouldn't be believable.
So, I mean, what I think I like about this episode is that Arthur finally felt like a whole character in this episode. I don't know. I feel like Arthur's been kind of like this weird, like half there, half not character. And this episode, he felt he felt like he fit in this episode as a character, but also as like a member of the company who wants to do good. Like, I don't know why it hasn't really seemed like. My favorite thing, and I hope it's a gift all over the internet, is when he flips that little old man that's shaped like that little girl into that wall. I laughed hard. Oh, he yeeted her right into that wall. I died.
It was
like,
so
Arthur, you cold blooded. He was like, no, that's a little old man.
it was so random to me because I'm like, yo, what's this dude doing? What's this white boy with a ponytail doing? Like, oh wait, so this dude's actually useful. So something he's actually useful for one thing. It's just fine.
This is why it felt like he felt like a whole character this episode. He really did.
Agreed.
And I'm like, we still don't know what he was doing out there in the desert. I don't know if that's ever gonna be something they round back to. And I'm still mad because I'm like, okay, when you gonna talk about that? Is it time yet? No, not yet.
James, are they gonna talk about it soon? One day?
Yeah, it comes back.
Okay, cool.
But
Okay, good.
it's gonna take a little bit.
Okay, cool.
God dang it.
Because I agree with Ray. It bothers me too because like nobody brought it up. My dude Shinra said, "Oh, you're back." I'm like, he's back from where? Nobody's gonna ask, "Hey, where did you disappear for a day?"
Oh, hey, you're back. Dropped it.
My favorite side piece, I guess, which I wish she was not side piece because she's my favorite piece. But my first side story is that my woman Hibana was there just rearranging the whole.
Hold on. Your woman? Okay.
Yeah, she was there rearranging the whole place and have it for Shinra. I'm like, yo, she's dead. That's just rearranging the whole office of Obi and said, "This is Shinra's office." Now I'm like, wait, what? You're gonna just do this to Obi? I love this.
Oh, I love Hibana. She's great. More of the princess, please. Actually, I'd appreciate that.
Me too.
No more of this Tamaki. Bye. Give me.
Like, I agreed last week when I wasn't here, and I definitely agree with what James said last week, is saying that the fan service works in a manga, which I believe it does, because in the anime I feel is so out of place. And it sucks because I feel like it's good fan service. It's just that it feels too out of place when you get good action, fan service, action. Like, wait, that just took me out of it. So I totally agree with James. Hopefully,
and like I said last time, I feel like there are other animation studios that adapt fan service to work better for the anime.
Yeah.
Like if you did a 1-to-1 on most anime from manga, the fan service probably wouldn't work either.
True.
But it's just this one. It's just not hitting right. I mean, I'm sure maybe they'll get better at it, and I hope so. Because I mean, like I said, there's nothing inherently wrong with fan service. There's not. But it's just when it's done wrong, you can tell. So I'm actually shook for our fire soldiers in the next episode because it seems like old boy ate a super bug, and I'm like, that's not good.
That's not good.
Not at all.
I just want to see Shinra versus Brother already, because I got spoiled from something on Twitter of what happens when they verse, and it got me upset. I just want to see them two fight because I want to see that panel I saw. And James, I could talk to you privately and like talk to you what I saw, and what I saw was awesome. I was so sad I got spoiled by it, but that fight looks pretty dope though. I feel
words on Twitter, it will save your life.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Shinra though, because he got his ass wrecked.
Shut up, Miguel. You're saying too much. I swear to God. I could go and read this if I wanted to, but I'm not on purpose. Jeez. Oh man. Well, if that's enough about Fire Force, which was a fantastic episode. I don't know. I feel like Dr. Stone and Fire Force were very consistent. Like
it
they
was.
have been. They've been very, like, I will say that Fire Force had some weird dips in here and there, but not terrible dips.
Oh yeah.
But, they've been consistent. Like I've been like looking forward to seeing what happens throughout the series, so that's good. That's always a plus. And the music in Fire Force just fits. It hits perfectly every time. So I do appreciate it for doing that. Well, transitioning out of it being a little bit too hot, let's you guys want to talk about some awkward situation in My Hero Academia.
if I'm
my
correct,
God.
you call this episode 1, right? Because last year you called the first one episode 0.
Technically, episode 1 for me. Yes, that's true. Technically, episode 1. I gotta get ready. Sorry, boys.
Don't worry. While you
Right.
fix your hoodie of being a little big Deku there,
Little big tech. Yes, I'm here. Anyway, I love this episode. I really did, and it was exact. There are very few, I think, manga / anime that make literally what happened in the manga just happen right in front of you, just animated. It's such a perfect retelling and animated. Oh God, it did such a good job. Because I remember reading this for the first time, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be wild, and it's the exact same thing.
they did a great
It's the exact
adaptation.
same.
The score for Overhaul and his crew was amazing. I want to give that the best props because the score was amazing. It felt like when I listened to it with Sam, I was like, yo, I feel goosebumps. That score was amazing. And once he took out the dude, I keep forgetting his name. I'm sorry,
Big
but
Sis.
huh?
Big Sis.
Yeah, Big Sis. I felt bad for him because my dude got destroyed his whole body. We got the quick flashback, and then boom, he dead. I'm like, wow.
You did. You get a flashback. You did. Random character got a flashback scene. Oh yeah, you did.
I felt bad for him.
I like the way they animated Overhaul's ability. That it looks gross and like just like, ugh. It's like, no, yeah, you're dead. If he touches you, you're done. You're done now. But what I didn't, so something that I think I missed in the manga was the quirk suppression bullets. It happened so fast in the episode, you can see them. But I missed it the first time in the manga. I was like, so they were using those, and that's why he had the upper hand while they were there.
Well,
Yeah.
they were using it because they were using it as a test subject because they haven't they haven't gotten them fully working. They only got them to work only for I think a couple hours, not
Right,
to
at that point.
yeah, not to have it permanently. So I'm very excited about how that's turn out. But my favorite scene that I did not see from the premiere from the screening 2 weeks ago is that Shigaraki him thinking about what Overhaul said was really nice to hear. For like him thinking about like, okay, I need to have a plan. If I'm gonna be a leader, I need to actually be a good leader. So I love how
He actually learned from him
Yeah.
in that situation. He did. And he took what he said and was like, okay, well, I hear what you're saying, but no, I want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's your plan? That's a nice plan you got there. This is mine now. You know? Which I really appreciated them just breaking down the opposite view of the world. It's like, yeah, both sides lost their figureheads. And so that means both sides need to now have somebody that stands up to lead the charge on both for the villains and for the heroes. Which was really cool. I'm like, I love the duality of this world. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, that's how it should be. And you're so right. The duality of this world is done so well. And I love Overhaul. And for anime watchers, if you're anime only on My Hero Academia, Overhaul is pretty much Scar from Full Metal Alchemist. He can deconstruct and reconstruct. That's all you need to know about
That's
his
all you know is
power.
about quirk. Yeah.
And it's cool as fuck. I can't
it
wait
is.
for you guys to see it. And he's so calm, he's so cool, he's collected, and that's why he was chosen to be the next leader of the Yakuza. And in the coming episodes, you will find out more reasons why he's the leader and why people follow him, and it just gets so good.
Yes, and I mean, speaking of leaders, so we finally got to see our boy Night Eye.
Yeah.
Oh man, so that whole thing with Deku trying to figure out like, hey, he's like, hey, I need an internship. I want to get ahead on this. It's like, I'm like, oh, look at you, Deku, trying to like get ahead of the game, and then they're like, what the heck are you doing? Like, oh, why are you doing this? He called the old man, and he was like, you're useless. You don't need an internship. Go back to school. Go back to school, kid.
What's your name again?
Yeah, exactly. Like, who are you? And I'm like, wow, that's dirty, but he did that on purpose. Keep his ego in check, you know what I'm saying? So
that was my favorite part.
One of my favorite moments was when Deku finally sees Night Eye, and then he puts on the All Might face, dude. When I saw that in the manga, I lost my shit, and watching it animated, it's so funny.
It worked so well, and I was like, oh no, he messed up, didn't he? Yeah, he messed
But
up.
We saw parts of the second episode, and they make it work from what we saw in the manga. The face expression, the backstory of the face expression, and how not I and him have the conversation of the reason he chose that face. They did it amazing, which really kind of shocked me because I didn't expect them to go above and all. I was like, wow, they actually really did well.
Good. I'm glad to hear that because it's the reason. The reasoning that they managed to like make this connection is so important, I think, and I love it. I can't wait to see it. So this next episode would be a good episode.
Yep.
Yeah, then the next two are gonna be straight fire.
Like super good. I will say the one weird thing, and it was weird too. Bubble Girl is still weird to me. I know that she's a fan created character. I thought she was fan created and fan voted for the series. I think, if I remember correctly, and that's why she kind of stands out in this weird way. So,
Her design always took me out of it because when I saw her in the manga, it was like she looked like a fish. Like she does like some type of mermaid.
But I mean, people can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure she was fan designed and fan voted to be in the series. Like they were like, "Hey, create a character, we'll put it in the series." They put it to a vote, and I think that's
cool.
how that design ended up in the series. I think I could be wrong about that, but that's what I thought that I read. So that's why I was like, she weirdly stands out. She doesn't really fit in this scene, but they make it happen. So, and that's why we really never actually ever see her again. But that's okay.
That's true. We don't see her. That's true.
Yeah. But no, I love this episode. It's a tease really for the next 3 episodes, honestly.
Agreed.
So I'm ready. I can't wait. We got to see our boy Mirio, who was supposed to be, and this is what I guess the big kicker. This is the big kicker of this episode is that Mirio was supposed to be All Might's successor.
He was. Yep.
He was supposed to be the one, and he was like, "Well, I met Deku instead." So yeah.
Well, he became the next one.
I wanted to talk about that real quick. So that's one thing that I love about My Hero Academia on a whole.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many people that would be a great successor to All Might, but he just sees something in Deku, and Night Eye sees it as well. And this is not really spoilers for episodes later on, but Night Eye sees everything that he saw in All Might in Deku.
Yeah,
and it's why he's gonna push him as hard as he's going to. I just love everything that we're about to see. Anime watchers, you guys are in for a treat.
Because I mean, it's just really well written, and this animation studio is not gonna let. I can already see that. So it's just gonna work. It's gonna be great. But I guess if we're ready to depart from My Hero Academia, let's also talk about a great problem that our Vikings are facing in Vinland Saga, episode 15. So I think, James, you were right. You were right about that girl. She's a snitch.
Yep.
I was shocked when I heard the podcast last week, and you guys did not really believe that she was not dead. Like, I mean, alive.
I just did not really think they had they put a good focus on her, but I just didn't think that she was going to get away that fast. I thought it had an episode where somebody. Who is she? Like, do we say something about her? No, it's just she is like, nope, she wouldn't snitched, and that was it.
Yep.
Just to me, it was foreshadowed very well that she was gonna come back and she was gonna snitch, and then there was a war that's gonna happen with Dorky and everything. And I kind of saw it come, and I was happy that my theory came true because it really happened. Dorkill is about to have a war, but my dude, Dorkill said, "I wish war was always and forever." I'm like, how do you want war to be always and forever? That's literally having
all he wants.
Fires every day.
Mm-hmm. That's all he wants.
There's always people like that.
Exactly, and that's why there's wars. But no, he loves the thrill of it. Like that is his only purpose. That is his only joy. And without war, he's useless in like literally nothing. So
I mean, that's what he was bred to do. He was bred to fight and kill.
Yep, and that's what's about to happen real soon.
Yo, so many people are dying. Like, Dorkill got excited, like, oh, we're about to have a war. I'm like, why are you excited for this? You creep. Stop it.
So, I feel like they keep showing chinks in our boy Ascalon's armor. Like, his men are questioning him more and more. And they're starting to doubt him for the first time.
Yes, they are.
Which I was like, ooh, this ain't good. I mean, honestly, they're like, yeah, his plan isn't going according to plan for the first time ever. So how's this gonna really shake out? And then I think what was it? The thing with Ragnar really kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, but what was the real point of that? I didn't really understand. And with Ragnar telling him exactly what's about to happen,
What do you
really
mean with
doesn't
like
make sense.
with them killing him?
Yeah,
I mean, it makes perfect sense because remember from I think it's the previous episode where Askeladd is talking to I believe the guy from Wales, and he's telling him like, if I get into the position that I want with the prince, I
Mhm.
can influence him for us to be allies. He
Yeah, with
can't
Ragnar in the
do
picture,
that
he couldn't do that.
with
Yeah.
him in the way.
Hmm.
So you remove him. Askeladd is the only person around that could actually take the prince under his wing, mentor him, actually teach him things, teach him to be brave, and instantly the prince will be in his pocket.
See, this is what
It made perfect sense.
we were
Plus,
talking before the show started, and I said, don't look too far into the intro.
uh-huh.
And don't look too far into the intro. There's a lot of like symbolism there between the prince and Askeladd and Thorfinn that I'm like,
I haven't really looked into what you're saying about the intro, but it's my theory, and me and Sam discussed this in our video this past week, that Ashkelad just became the stepfather of two kids, the grandson of the king and the son of the king now, Thorfinn and of Canute. So now he's the stepfather too because he killed Thor the Troll and I killed Ragnar. The two both father figures of the two kids. And they're both the same age. So this is pretty interesting to see where it goes now. And now they're both taking the next in line up to be king of England, but also Harold, their brother slash uncle, is the next one in line. So now of who's the one next to take the throne, and Ashkelad now has a lot in his hands, and I don't even think he knows where his plan is going now because
now he has to outsmart the king.
he has to
As
outsmart
well.
he has to outsmart the king and also Thorkill as well as coming on his way because he didn't
Thorkill's
expect
about to die.
who
Like, Thorkill's about to die.
nah Thorkill. I don't think he's dying. I don't think so.
Thorkill's about to die.
This
No.
is interesting because we're all on different pages right now. So Miguel, I actually think Askeladd 1000% knows exactly what he's doing, step by step by step. Yes, there are small little things that aren't working in his plan, but it's still all gonna work out in his favor. I will bet anything on that.
I mean, knowing what I saw from the intro now, you're not far off.
I agree on that because that snow in the intro and that symbolism, I did not try to read too much into it, but that intro, oh my god, it's definitely spurred because also the intro throwing
people yelling at their screens like the intro doesn't mean anything. Well, it means enough. Like seeing where the story is going and what's happening and what they show in the intro, you can glean some insight.
That intro shows so much arrows of them going and taking over places, and I'm like, no, I cannot read into that of who's taking villages or anything or England. Nope, ignore.
Askeladd is still my favorite character on this show.
He's a well done character.
I think he is a genius. He's a genius tactician and a genius warrior, and he's not to be fucked with.
I just don't know what his end game is. Like, what's his end game?
That's what makes him even more interesting.
And
you have no idea what he's thinking.
And he is not at all like talking to his man or being any type of communicative with anybody. He's all to himself. He tells his man what to do, and they're like, "All right, guys, let's talk in private." I'm like,
Yeah,
wait, we don't know what's going on.
Not to be consulted with.
Exactly. So I don't know. I love that they're starting to question his motives. They're also starting to be like, well, maybe he's not this perfect person that we thought he was. But it's also interesting to see how I'm sure he has a plan for getting rid of all of them at some point and getting a new crew, probably. So I don't know how he plans to do that, but it's gonna happen. I think we're gonna get to this point where he's like, well, I don't have use for you now because now you don't trust me, and really you being here doesn't go along with my plan. So all y'all gotta die now.
True. And last thing I want to bring up is that my man Thorkill is gonna come and fight. But do we think, A, Thorkill's gonna die or Thorkill's gonna join Ashkelad because maybe he's the uncle of Thorfinn?
Thorfinn is going to get his duel, but it won't be with Askeladd. It will be with Thorkill.
I think that as well.
He's going to duel Thorkill, and he's going to kill
definitely in no way, shape, or form ever join Askeladd.
Nope. He has no reason to join
Their ideals are way too different. Like
Polar opposites.
Thorkill just wants to fight. He doesn't
mean-
really have like a stake in the game in my mind.
And I kind of feel like Thorkill is exactly what Askeladd hates. Like, legitimately. When it comes to the Danes, I think that Danes like Thorkill is what Askeladd hates the most, I think. So
That's very true.
Yeah, but no, I think, yeah, he's going to die in a duel with our boy. I feel like but what I want to know is if he's going to do it by himself or if he's going to have help from Askeladd one way or another, I think.
I don't think Thorkill dies at all.
You don't think so?
I don't think so
he
either.
dies at all. I think they're gonna duel again. I think it's gonna be a really cool fight, and then something's gonna happen that separates them.
That's
and
a
then
potential. Yeah.
we won't see Thorkill again for a while. But I highly doubt he dies at all. I mean, I have nothing to base this on, but I don't think he dies at all. I think there's so much more to do with the connection between him and Thorfinn. To kill him now or even in like the next season would be a waste.
I would see it as this Thorkill being killed by Thorfinn would be his coming into a warrior, having now officially killed another warrior, would be what I think it is. Honestly, it's kind of like that's his Android 16 moment and Gohan going Super Saiyan 2. You know what I'm saying? That's what I kind of think it might be. Him killing him, be like, okay, no, though now you are. And I'm sure it'll be like the last words that he imparts to him is like, oh yeah, by the way, I knew your dad. He was my brother or something weird like that. I don't know. He'll say something to him and he'll be like, what? Excuse me. And then he has a whole different mission son. So
I'm sure Thorkill is probably Thorfinn's uncle.
Probably.
Or
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Like a cousin or something, at least.
Yeah, he might be Thor's cousin.
Mm-hmm, right.
They don't look like siblings, but they could be cousins.
Mm-hmm.
True. One thing I also want to bring up is the priest. The priest gave up faith. That's pretty interesting as well in this episode.
His faith, he hesitated in his faith, and
Yeah.
the prince called him out on it. He was like, you taught me that this was the undying truth.
He went in like, no, you can't do this.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he got mad at him.
We're supposed to fear God, not lose hope. We're supposed to fear him. And I love that, like, it showed the, like, of what you said last week, Ray, about Christianity. They do it so well, and they don't really force it on you. They do it so well, and I agree that the writer of this series is so well done.
Mm-hmm. Real well versed, and it's like it's not a gentle subject.
It's not.
It's a subject that you could get really wrong really easily.
Yep.
But so far I'm like, no, this works for this story, for this universe. They're doing a really good job, and they're doing a good job of convincing me that it's exactly what they believe and how it should work.
Yeah, this universe is literally all predicated on belief.
Mm-hmm.
Like the reason why anyone does anything in this entire story is based on belief and based on what they worship in their religion. Like it's handled very well because dealing with religion can get really messy.
Yep.
And they handle it really well.
They do. Agree.
I do. I agree. All right. Well, we won't spend too much time in Vinland Saga, but this is still absolutely one of the best anime we've gotten this year. Just,
Agree.
So good. So if you're not watching Vinland Saga yet, haven't been convinced to, I am try out Vinland. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You won't regret it. And if you do, Miguel will give you $1. Anyway, moving on.
Sure, I guess. If that happens, give me a PayPal account on Twitter. Let's go. Sure.
You're not supposed to play into that. Jeez. So
that's where you get them.
About one manga in particular that we've been reading. I can't wait until we can all talk about this together, though.
Next month.
Because next month, all right. But Dragon Ball Super Chapter 53 hit us on Sunday, I think it was.
Sunday the 20th.
Oh, man. Because Boruto also hit that day, and I want to talk about Boruto. So everybody catch up on Boruto, please.
Yes.
But Dragon Ball Super. James, did you think that they were going to do what they did in this chapter?
No. Everything that happened in this chapter
completely unexpected
blindsided me. Yep. I'm like, what?
Because they were talking up stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be in like 3 chapters. And then all of a sudden, I'm just saying, all of a sudden, the villains are on Earth, and it was out of nowhere. Yep. I was like, they're at least gonna give them a few chapters to get ready. No, they're here now.
Yeah,
That was
dude.
that was the most un-Dragon Ball thing they've ever done.
So the biggest thing that came out of this chapter for me was 7-3. Holy shit, is this dude cool? And
he's
Miguel,
also
I'm sorry,
future.
this is gonna be a little bit of spoilers, but
This is
7-3 is an android that can copy all of one person's power, and he can copy multiple powers,
and it's
for
not
up
just
to
like
30 minutes.
powers, it's physical traits as well.
Yeah.
Which means if he touches a Super Saiyan, he could go Super Saiyan.
Yeah. So he grabs Piccolo and he's able to use the special beam cannon. He's able
Instantly.
to stretch his arms just like Piccolo, and it's like he can copy these powers to the exact same power level. So could you imagine if he touched Goku and used a spirit bomb?
Oh
It
my
would be
God.
over.
Oh
7-3
God.
is amazing.
So there's a time limit on the power though. I think it's like 30 minutes. It's like a
30
fusion.
minutes.
Like that's just the time limit for everything in this series apparently. But so it's like 30 minutes, and he has. First of all, they keep doing Piccolo dirty. I swear to everything. Toriyama, please. I know you love Vegeta now, but please give Piccolo some love. Please give Piccolo some love, because he was like.
I mean, they started to, and then they at the end of the
See,
chapter they were like,
they were
fuck
talking
it."
about, it was like, hey, who's strong enough to help us? And they're like, hey, it's me, Krillin. We don't know where Tien is because he doesn't have a cell phone. What? Then they're like, well, we could call Yamcha, and then everybody's like, yeah, nah. Who else?
Yeah.
Gohan's here. They're like, Gohan's here. Gohan is literally the strongest person left on Earth. And then Piccolo's like, oh yeah, by the way, I train all the time. I'm not just training when things are bad. I train all the time. And then he immediately gets hold. And I'm like, come on now. Like, what is happening here? So I'm like, just stop. And then they also confirmed that there are only 3 Namekians left in the universe.
Yep.
3. So I'm like, well, what are they gonna do? I think that kind of showed me the rumor that remember there's this, I don't know if you've seen it. There's this rumor that Piccolo's gonna get a new transformation.
Yeah.
I heard about that rumor.
And I'm not sure. That kind of made me feel like they're gonna be like, well, what can we do now since we're the last? Like, you're the last one. Like, what's it gonna be? I think he does fuse with the Namekian dragon and becomes a new thing. Might be what happens. That's just a theory I'm putting out there.
Karunga? That would be insane.
It would be dope, wouldn't it? Like a permanent power up where he's got all this power because he's the Namekian god now. Is what it would be. Is what I would assume.
That'd be pretty dope if that actually becomes true. Also, I was just, while you guys were talking about Dragon Ball Super, I was just going through the chapters to see what's cool that stands out. Seeing Vegeta in the last panel trying to do the monk thing looks pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty dope. I can't wait to find out. Also, he's wearing
I need to see this animated right now because Vegeta is going to struggle with this constant meditation.
Real hard. Mm-hmm.
Goku was meditating in that one spot for 150 days. And now Vegeta has to do the same thing.
He's like,
his chakras are all off, even worse than Goku's.
Mm-hmm.
His balance is all off.
But imagine that. I'm like, but does that mean that because I mean, we know that he won't be able to be there for the whole length of time that Goku was there. That won't happen. But like, just imagine though. But I mean, they're doing this weird, thing where they do this all the time in Dragon Ball, where one person's training one way and one person's training another way. So of course, when they come out, they'll be about equal again when they're done.
Yeah.
But just imagine that, because Goku's trying to master Ultra Instinct, which.
So let's talk about that real quick. So Miris is like way stronger than Goku.
So Miris looks like Miris is like one of the strongest beings in the universe. Apparently, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Wait, who's that though?
So he's the space patrol officer that basically captured everybody initially.
Yeah, he captured pretty much all of the prisoners that escaped.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Miris is insanely powerful. Like, he's
the badass character.
He is fucking up Goku.
Well,
he's not even breaking a sweat.
Not even was because I feel like he is like part angel. I think he's part angel.
I was just about to ask that because from his design, I see him like. Doesn't he look like Wiz a bit with his facials? I'm like,
I think he's part angel, or celestial, whatever they're gonna call them. I don't know.
But I do agree with that, Ray.
I think that he knows. I think he also knows Ultra Instinct.
Oh
Like,
yeah, he
at a
does.
he knows Ultra Instinct. It's not like a Goku Ultra Instinct, but he knows Ultra Instinct. So that's been a wonderful like reveal. So but it's what's gonna happen that prevents him from fighting with them to fight Moro is the question. Like I like if he's this strong,
Why does he fight?
obviously he's not gonna be a fight, I don't think. So what's gonna happen? That like somebody gonna come kill him, or is he gonna die because he uses all his energy? Goku? Or, I don't know. I'm curious to see how this character plays out because it's a really cool character. I hate to see that character thrown away because
Yeah.
like it's a legitimately cool character.
Yeah, I mean, on a very basic level, he is using Ultra Instinct for defense.
Mhm.
Like, it's the reason why Goku can't hit him.
At all times, it's kind of like the breathing technique from Demon Slayer.
About to
It's
say.
a very similar thing. So I'm like, well, all right, this seems similar, but I like it. It just Dragon Ball Super surprised me a lot in this chapter. I was
This is
not
the
expecting
best the writing has been in so long.
I
It's
agree
just
with you.
so good. And I hope that Gohan actually gets to do something cool.
Because
'Cause I
Gohan did
am
show up, by the
tired.
way. He did show up to help Piccolo right at the end, and so I'm really hoping that he listens because he tells Gohan immediately, "Don't let him grab your neck." And I'm like, if they're like, "Aha, he's gonna grab his neck anyway," I'm like, "Come on now." Like,
He hasn't done
Gohan wants
nothing
to beat
important
your
in the
ass.
Cell Saga.
I mean, he did some stuff in the Buu Saga. He was
Nothing
like,
that-
some in the Buu
things.
Saga.
Nothing that drastic where it's like, oh, that's amazing. Because he did something against Boo, but then he got captured and got eaten. I'm like, okay, but you didn't do nothing more.
Which also progressed the power level of Boo, which progressed the story a little bit. So it was a necessary evil, you know what I'm saying? But
Oh, yeah, to
no,
destroy the planet, and after that, go to a different planet, have Goku fight Kid Buu, yeah.
I want Gohan to redeem himself. Tournament of Power Arc, you didn't really get that moment. Please.
Yeah, he
Give us
does
a moment.
something for like 2 seconds to win a
Yeah.
fight, and then that's it. Like,
But it was really boring. We all know it was boring. We know young Gohan had so many more hero moments. Adult Gohan has had none.
yeah. I mean,
So,
he's focused on his studies.
I think literally the coolest thing they gave us was when he fought his dad. That was like the coolest episode for Gohan in Super. That was when he
Yeah.
fought Goku at full power.
That's true.
And Goku waxed him. It's like, you still got a lot to learn, kid. So-
And it's sad because it was supposed to be Gohan was supposed to surpass Goku in the future in the Dragon Ball Z series, but he
That's
never
the
did.
thing. He still can if Toriyama wants.
wanted him
happen.
to, exactly.
Yeah.
Because just from the Cell Saga, Goku already knew that Gohan had the potential and has the power to gain more power and surpass them faster than they can. Like,
Yep.
he has this latent ability inside of him that just makes him so powerful. And what does Toriyama do? Nothing.
But you know what he's probably gonna do? Exactly what he did with Kale and Kefla, and all of a sudden he's gonna, you know what? I'm gonna try, and then those super cells or whatever you call them, aha, Super Saiyan 3, figured that out.
The midichlorians.
Yeah, oh my god.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty much the midichlorians. I'm like,
is.
why did you go into ridiculous explanation
To explain
how
ridiculous
the
things
power
that
works.
nobody else would actually be like, that doesn't make sense. And he's like, you're right, it doesn't, and this is why.
Yeah, learn from George Lucas. No one gives a shit about the midichlorians. No one cares about how many little people are living inside you that feed you power. No one gives a shit.
well,
That's such a weird thing, by the way. No, thank you.
guys. Hopefully, you guys like James Rank, because that's my favorite part of the segments here out here in the podcast.
We'll start a whole segment for it. James Reigns. I like it.
What do you want to rant about today, James? Is it about how much you love about Isekai Chimijishin being the 5 years best Isekai anime?
Yes.
Moving on. So I guess this is the part where we've now completed talking about the listed shows and manga we were going to talk about. Is there anything else that you guys are reading and or watching that you talk about for a bit before we get into the news?
I do want to say is that we will be doing Boruto next month once the new chapter End of Super comes out. We'll be doing it for the podcast. But if you also want it, guys, separately, your feedback matters, so we could cover it as well for Attack on Titan and
Let us
everything.
know.
Time is something from us because we also have our own daily jobs and our own daily content. But your guys' feedback matters if you guys want that. But what I am watching on the side is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, because I haven't watched any full anime other than that. But that's my thing that I will say, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. I've been watching it, and it's a hell of a ride. Definitely been binging it way too much on my spare time that I should be editing and doing something else. But definitely been watching too much Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. And we watched No Guns Life. Good anime. I like it. And Iruma-kun. Iruma-kun. If you haven't watched Iruma-kun, watch that. It's hilarious, that intro. That beat is hilarious. Love the intro of the anime. It's freaking amazing. The animation is still weird because it's very... The animation, it feels like you're on an acid trip. That's what I would say. The animation is very colorful, but very stale, but very bright. I don't know if that attracts your attention, people, but it's very entertaining. But the intro is one of the best intro of the fall. I don't know about the year, but definitely one of the best intro of the fall anime. So definitely that's my highlights of what I've been watching. I will definitely give better ones next week.
Yeah, I've been watching High School Prodigies. I think that anime is really, really good. It's a really good isekai anime. I think it's really hard to juggle stories of 7 different characters, and this anime does it really, really well. It's 7 kids, and you get to see all of them shine. And even in the latest episode, you actually get to see every single one of them do something in a 21-minute episode, which is really hard to do, and I love how these writers are able to get it done. I'm also watching No Guns Life. Ray, I think you'll love this.
I'll add it to the list.
I think the main character makes me think about Hank's. Like Hank. The reason why I'm drawing that comparison is because he's just this soldier that's willing to do anything to protect and serve people like him, and for people that can't defend for themselves. So on that very, very basic level, he reminds me of Hank from To the Abandoned Sacred Beast. Just his drive to help and to help the people that are like him. I really, really like it. The story is going in a really cool direction. Of course, there is a major corporation that is at the head of everything that's wrong in the world, and it's done really well, and I really think you'll like it.
Okay. I will add it to the list because I was actually looking for something else to watch today. What else can I watch? I completely forgot about it, so I'll add it to the list.
And it's on Funimation, so that's great.
Oh,
yeah, and Hulu. So.
Oh yeah, Hulu
okay,
too.
Good, it's on Hulu.
Yeah, because I'm watching it on Hulu. I'm not watching it on Funimation.
Okay. It's much better on Hulu because Funimation app sucks. So definitely recommend Hulu better.
Yeah. All right. So is that all you guys have been watching / and/or reading?
Yeah. Reading.
Also want to show some love to Spy Family. I know I did it last week, but
good.
Still
great
reading
thing.
Spy Family. If you guys aren't reading it, it is great writing, phenomenal writing.
James, did you read the side chapter of this past week?
No, I missed it.
The side chapter was really good. I love the side chapters they do. This side chapter was all about Anya following her parents, and it was adorable. Her parents were... It was something that any guy or any husband that tries to make their wife much happier and have a good day, because they see their wife not having a good day, like, okay, let me take her to dinner. Let's go out to dinner. And somehow the dinner goes all good and everything. Next morning, she wakes up in a grumpy mood, and I got like, I don't understand women. I'm like, that's a great chapter. That's a great series.
I don't understand women.
You can relate. It's something that any person could read this series and relate. Nothing about the spies, because I don't think any casual person that reads this is a spy. But the daily aspect of a family and everything is so beautiful. Definitely great shout out for that, James. And I definitely highly suggest the side chapter of chapter 15.1 was amazing. I love it.
Yeah, what it does really well too is it makes you ask the question, what really is family? Does blood make you family, or does the bonds and the things that you go through together make you family? And I think that's something that Spy Family does really well, which is why I said phenomenal.
I figured that's the overall theme of it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I like it now. So yeah, absolutely.
I also want to give another shout out to Mission Yazakura Family. It's another spy type of shonen in
I need to read
in the
that.
series, and it's good. It's only 9 chapters in. I give it 1 point less of Spy Family. Not because it's bad. It's just because I haven't felt in love with all the characters since there's two main characters, but 8 supporting characters. So we haven't gotten the full detail of all the other characters, the background, because each character is very interesting. But we haven't felt full dive in with only 9 chapters. But I'm still enjoying it, still liking it. Highly suggest it if you haven't had the chance to read it. Highly suggest it. It's only 9 chapters in. It's very enjoyable and it's very different to how Spy Family is. This is more of the spy stuff on the daily aspect. Spy Family is more family and with a mission, so it's very different. I highly suggest to read both. That's it.
Okay. So for me now, I've been reading 2 more things. So, Kid Otaku, shout out to you because you finally got Kaizen. I like this. It does have a bunch of Bleach vibes, and I dig it. I like it. Like this is a good one. I like.
Nice.
This is one that's going to get an anime soon, I think, and I like. I'm like, yeah, this could be really, really spicy. I like it. It's a lot of fun.
And how many chapters are you in?
I'm only like 4 chapters in.
Oh, it's good. It gets better in the. Did you read the prequel first before the actual series?
Didn't read the prequel.
You should, because it will give you more of a story and background. So I will send you that. I will send you that later.
Send me that. I appreciate that. Let's see. The other thing I started reading was Tokyo Shinobi Squad,
Nice.
which is I'm only like 2 chapters into this, but I see this being decent. Like this will be something that I'll read because I'm like, I just want to read something. This could be the one that I'm reading for fun. And then the last one, of course, is Boruto, which I need everybody to read because Boruto, the anime, is getting the hate that it is. Like it's actually good. Kawaki is a very interesting character. The situation, his situation is one that we've seen before, but it's been done pretty well. Like he's, basically supposed to be the successor of, the bad guy, but doesn't want to be the successor of the bad guy, and it's about him making friends with the good guys and how this is going to go. So, it's really cool characters, and they keep me just guessing on what's about to happen next. That's a good thing. So,
Speaking about Boruto, I want to give a quick shout out to the anime, because the anime actually came back into the past with Sasuke and Boruto back into the Naruto village. So
Yeah.
I just jumped in because I saw it. I saw the previews and the hype this past Sunday. I saw Monday morning. All right, let me check this episode out. And I haven't seen the past 40 something episodes since episode something 70, and I saw this. I didn't need to know anything because I saw this. I saw Naruto, Sakura, Jiraiya.
Naruto, you see this episode.
Yeah, this episode was entertaining, so I highly suggest, if you don't really care about the Boruto anime but you want to see this arc, highly suggest it. It was entertaining. Naruto saying that he has no family and still eats ramen. Boruto is gonna start loving his father now and understand him, so it's something I'm happy about.
That's the point, because they've made Boruto into this brat, so they have to make him understand his father and his struggles somehow.
Agreed.
So why not literally take him there to see them?
Yeah.
So why not? I get it. And then I was saving this for when we were all here, but I guess I could finally tell you that I finally watched Your Name this weekend. I kept my promise, and I finally watched it.
Quick thoughts.
I loved it. Honestly, I loved it. It was a very lovely story. Lovely is the best word I could pick for that. The story was fun. I won't say fun, but I loved it. It worked really, really well. It was very touching, and I was like, you know what? No, I like this a lot. This was good. And I mean, it wasn't one of those things. It was like, oh, why didn't I watch this sooner? It was just like, I'm just glad I watched it. Period. It's a good movie that really puts anime in a very strong light. Like, anime just doesn't have to be about dudes punching other dudes with power levels and titties everywhere. It doesn't have to be, even though there's boobs in it, but it's tastefully done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really well done. It was gorgeous, and the music worked really well, and the characters were phenomenal. I just had a good time.
That's what I was gonna.
For recommending it, and I said I would keep my promise. I solemnly swear it last time, so I had to keep promise.
That's what I was gonna
Unfortunately,
ask.
Sam was not here to hear this.
I was very disappointed, but that's what I was gonna ask. What did you think of the score and the music, the soundtrack overall?
It's fantastic. Overall, it was fantastic. It just they really put heart into the music that was into the animation. Like, that
Agree.
matters, and it really worked. So, they had me the whole time. I was like, if they don't get together, I'm punching somebody in the mouth.
I'm happy. And did you watch this one by yourself or with the
I
wife?
watched it by myself. And I loved
Well,
it. She walked in right as it was ending, and I was like, "Sorry, you missed it."
would you recommend this to watch it with her?
Oh,
Do you think she enjoy?
absolutely, yes, I think she would enjoy it.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear.
My wife is also enjoying Dr. Stone, so I mean, like the pieces that she's seen of it, she likes Dr. Stone. So yeah.
Nice. Nice.
It'll be a good one. Like, I just really liked it. But speaking of, Oscar anime, I don't know if it won an Oscar or not, but it probably should have if it didn't. So fix it. Jumping into our news, there were 4 anime films submitted for the anime feature Oscar category, and I'm gonna ruin all 4 of these names. So bear with me as we go through this. So number 1 is by Ayumu Watanabe and Studio 4 Degrees Celsius. Is that what that is? Or is it just 4 C's? And the Children of the Sea. Actually, I'm just gonna read the names. So next is Madhouse's Oko's Inn. And then this one surprised me, but I haven't seen it yet. It's Trigger's Promare. That good that they submitted it for the Oscar. That's impressive. And then the one that now I have to go watch is Comics Wave Films Weathering with You. I need to go see that one, or I need to find it somewhere and watch it. So Trigger and Weathering with You are ones that I really want to see now.
Well, Premiere is already released, but there's none around your area because I'm happy that I know where you guys live. So I look around your area. Premiere's not being released.
That's creepy. Thanks.
But Premiere, no. Well, technically I didn't search, so you should ask that to Sam because Sam did the research, not me. So technically he should be the creep. There's no Premiere release around your area, so that sucks. But Weathering with You is being released in January to the public in US. Me and Sam are seeing it next month for a early release at Anime NYC, so I'm really excited for that. The only one that I've seen out of these is Premiere, and I understand why they actually did submit it. It's because Premiere is an actual good movie from Trigger, even though their movies are crazy, off the walls, mecha type. I know the one person that would love this movie, and is Ray. Ray would love Premiere.
And I think it was like it's been nominated and submitted because of the ridiculous animation. Like from what I've seen of it, I love.
No, this is made for you, Ray. This is made for you. The mecha, the stuff that is involved. I don't want
a good year for me.
I don't want to spoil you the type of style this movie is and what happens in the end because it's just so balls off the wall of how crazy it is. Love it. And I'm happy for Premiere. Can I say for other two? But I know Madhouse does great films, so I know that Uncle's In makes sense. I don't know much. I don't know too much about the Studio 4Cs, so I can't really say about the Children of the Sea. But I'm excited to see Weathering with You next month, so I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I will absolutely be going to try and find that in the theater. I really do want to see this now. After seeing your name, it's like they know what they're doing.
Yes,
they know how to tell a fantastic story, done really well overall. So definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, the one I'm most excited for is Weathering with You. I think it just looks absolutely stunning. The story looks interesting, and it's not the norm that we're used to seeing with anime. It looks really different. It looks really unique, and I have a good feeling about it. Now I'm looking at the other just regular animated films that were nominated, and unfortunately none of these 4 anime even stands a chance at the competition. But I am really excited to watch them because I mean Toy Story 4 is on this list and where is it, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World list.
There was another How to Train Your Dragon movie?
Yeah, there was in March.
No idea.
One of those 2 will win.
No, wait, James, you're forgetting the other big one, Frozen 2.
Is it gonna be too late for consideration though?
No, Frozen 2 is coming out in November, and the Oscars.
Yeah, that's Oscar season.
Yeah, yes, that's Oscar. So Frozen 2 still has time.
That's just my pick. Frozen is popular doesn't mean that it's a good Oscar movie.
Oh,
but there's a chance that it might be though.
it looks good. This one looks good with
But
the.
there is a chance.
Yeah,
There's a chance.
like me myself.
But my pick is gonna be Toy Story 4 for best actor.
Okay.
From what I have seen, only out of these is How to Train Your Dragon was good. It got me to crying, like a tear just came down here, and then after that went back in.
Single fuck tear. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Lego Movie 2, haven't seen it. Haven't seen the other ones. Premiere.
It's boring.
Yeah, really? Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, it's boring.
I was actually excited for it because I love the first one.
I love the first one too, and maybe the second one will work better for kids.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
It didn't work for me. The first one I was locked in the entire time. I was watching the second one, and I keep finding myself being checked out, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm watching this movie." That's not a good feeling. So,
multitasking movie. Gotcha.
yes,
Makes
Do other
sense.
stuff while you're watching it or listening to it at least.
yeah.
Makes sense. And then the others are born because they're all bad. The Secret Life of Pets and all of them. Can I even name them? But Toy Story 4 I haven't seen, so I can't really give too much topics about that.
I haven't seen it either.
But who knows?
Great story.
I'm really excited to see these. Frozen 2, I feel like that's gonna be one of the front runners. So that's what I feel.
I don't know. I like the first Frozen. I don't mind Frozen at all. We'll see. But speaking of other award-winning anime, last episode we all went on record and said, Studio Ghibli was to, go ahead and put their stuff on a streaming service. That'd be cool, but it'll never happen. Why would they ever do that? They're too prideful. They want to do that. And the next day, they're like, "Hey, HBO gave us enough money. We're gonna put all our stuff on HBO. Have fun."
I mean, this
HBO.
is good because
This is good, and that's what we said.
it on the
We were
last
if it happened,
episode.
it'd
Like,
be great. But if not, oh well.
a missed opportunity to not have these amazing works of art, to not be on a streaming service for everyone to see, and here it is.
And
Yep.
I agree with James last week. But the same day I listened to half the episode, and when you guys get to the news, the same morning the news dropped about HBO getting the lights. I'm like, wow, this is pretty interesting. Yeah, recorded last night. Have the upload next video, and then boom, wait, reducted the news. Take that out. Because, but it makes sense because Warner Brothers owns HBO, Warner Brothers owns Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers owns also Boomerang. So it'd be pretty interesting because right now Verve has Cartoon Network content and also Boomerang content. So it's gonna be very interesting how all this dives in 2020 and what
They didn't spend that Ghibli money, so they're
Yeah.
not gonna get it. That's gonna be exclusive.
Yeah, so I'm really curious to know if is Verve gonna lose Boomerang and Cartoon Network content and go to HBO Max, because who knows? Because
So,
HBO,
I think they definitely will lose it.
yeah,
I don't think so.
I see it
think
coming.
Everything that's going on to HBO Max
It's gonna
are
be all
exclusively
exclusive.
for HBO Max.
That's what I
There's
feel.
no way that I think it's
The reason why I say that is because I don't feel that HBO Max needs those.
it doesn't
They don't.
matter.
But they
All
want
of
the
these
money.
Different companies are consolidating everything that they own to keep it under their one roof, under their streaming platform.
That's
And I see that. But
that's
I
why
also-
Disney has
I
Disney
also
Plus.
understand them doing, hey, you know what? We don't absolutely need each and every single one of these because that's still extra money coming into us, not through subscriptions. They're paying for this licensing, so we're gonna get that money, and that's why I see that they wouldn't be pulling it immediately. Because I'm not gonna go subscribe to HBO for Boomerang. I don't know anybody who's gonna go do that. But
The reason-
it would be a bonus, but I don't think it'd be. That's not a subscription sale. Is what I think. That's
The
just
reason-
me.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, the reason I believe that, even though there's not on the news right now, but it's because it dropped also that HBO Max is gonna have Cartoon Network, sorry, not Cartoon, Bugs Bunny, the Looney Tunes, a new cartoon, Adventure Time as well, and also a couple others cartoons being there. So that's where it makes me believe they're slowly doing this to get back Cartoon Network content from Verve, Boomerang content from Verve, and all have it all under one roof. So that's what makes me believe that maybe HBO Max is doing that slowly, so it can have their own anime cartoon rent, where they might hook me in because I love Boomerang. That's my childhood from all watching Popeye, Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny, and also maybe watching the Studio Ghibli films. Hell yeah, it might get me to be one of the subscribers. It might get me.
Yeah,
So let's
that's-
talk about this for a second then, though. Do you guys think that VRV will exist the way it is in the next 2 years, even, or will they flip flop and then just become the Crunchyroll brand with all the stuff? Because I don't think, because at first when they launched VRV, it was anime, different types of anime, but they've been losing stuff bit by bit because these other companies, like you guys said, are taking them back home. What do you think?
I I think it's still gonna survive. They just have to change their gears of what they're gonna do because Verve still has high def, Rooster Teeth, and other branches. Right now, they lost last year, literally a year ago, about next month, they lost the big brand Funimation, and now they're gonna probably lose next year Cartoon Network and Boomerang, so that might happen next. So right now I see it's still surviving. Verve is still doing their own exclusive content as well with some of their own streaming service, but I still see some surviving. It's just with its own different content and still with anime exclusive. So who knows what happens?
Yeah, I really don't know because I mean they lost Funimation. Crunchyroll is going to be a part of HBO Max. Like I just even with their original content, I just don't see how long they can last with all of the competition. Because let's talk about Disney Plus starts up next month.
Oh yeah,
and they are ripping everything that is even remotely owned by Disney off of Netflix. It's all going to be gone instantly.
Oh yeah, in 3 weeks.
And I think HBO Max, it's going to take Cartoon Network, Boomerang, because Adventure Time is a Cartoon Network show.
Yeah.
I think HBO Max is going to take all of that stuff, and it's only going to be exclusive in one spot, and that's HBO Max. Who knows?
Okay, so let's one question for you. This is a hypothetical. You think HBO and Warner Brothers buy Crunchyroll and VRV to have exclusively streaming under HBO for the anime category?
Honestly,
Yes.
that would be smart because right now the big company, one of the biggest, like it is like Disney, and plus Sony and the Warner Brothers. Sony right now has Funimation. If Warner Brothers want to play things right and be the next anime thing or whatever, they should buy Crunchyroll and Verve. So now they have HBO Max, Verve, and Crunchyroll all under one roof. They could make more money. So that's where they think will get right. And also, Warner Brothers has they also have the DC app with Young Justice and everything. If they could also mix everything under one roof, they could make their bucks because
that sounds like a very solid service. Everything you just like you just talked about, there's a lot of content there, and would justify the price for a subscription.
Hell yeah.
So I can't remember who wrote the article. I can't remember where it came from, but I remember reading that when HBO Max officially drops, DC Universe isn't really going to be a thing anymore. It's just
not
all going to end up on HBO Max.
Yes,
and that's smart.
It's gonna transition. I forgot how it's gonna work because they said that the app is not really succeeding, but they believe the app of HBO Max is gonna do better. So they're gonna try to transition that inside there and have it all under one roof. Which I don't know how's that gonna make it work, but they believe it's gonna do better. So I'm like, okay, go ahead.
Okay, I mean, so I could definitely see this happening because let's see, we got Amazon anime, we've got Netflix anime, we've got this, maybe who knows what Disney will do, I don't know, but like we've got these big figureheads all in anime. I mean, Sony by itself, Funimation, but they're gonna do just fine. Like Crunchyroll, I do kind of worry, but we'll figure out next time on Dragon Ball, see what happens with Crunchyroll. It's gonna be kind of a wait and see, I think.
Next transition there.
Yeah.
Before we move on, so I just found an article on Digital Trends on pretty much everything from HBO, Cinemax, New Line Cinema, CNN, TNT, TBS, True TV, CW, Turner Classic Movies, Cartoon Network.
That's right.
Adult Swim, Crunchyroll, Rooster Teeth.
What? Oh, so no, they are going to absorb this.
It's all exclusively under HBO.
All right, so it makes sense. It makes sense when we covered, I think, like 5 episodes ago, saying that James said that it's going to be $15.99 a month. Okay, now with that price, it makes sense why it's so high. It makes sense. $15.99 $15.99 for all those of what James just mentioned. Now makes sense.
Really, it sounds like I can just be paying for Disney and this HBO Max and be good. I don't need nothing else. Netflix, you all right, but like I don't need that.
Yo, HBO Max, if you make an account that connects Verve and Crunchyroll all in one roof, I will get you, and I will dip my Verve account and have you instead. I don't mind paying an extra $5 to $6 more if that's what you're giving us on the one roof. I'm with it. Just continue making content and continue supporting it because it makes sense what you're doing. Oh, that's great then.
All right, well, rolling away from that because we pay enough money for services. Please help us lower the prices. I'd appreciate that.
Or maybe sponsor us.
Oh, please do actually sponsor us. That'd be great. All of you, every single one of those services, sponsor this show. We will gladly place and talk about every single one of you with much love and care. Don't worry. So we have an anime promo to talk about, and I don't know if you guys watched this one already, but Mushoku Tensei, the Jobless Reincarnation anime promo hit, and I didn't know what to think about this at first, but I still know nothing about it. I'll be very honest with you, nothing about it. But I watched it, and it looks super cool. It looks video gamey, and I like it. But that's it. That's all I know about it. It's just I basically only know what I saw. It looks good. But I have no idea if or when we'll ever actually be able to watch it on any of our services. So,
on which service? On which service? That's the question.
Yeah, which service? That's a good question.
Oh,
maybe we should make that a new segment. What service will this end up on?
That's a good one.
Whoever guesses right gets a pizza. Great.
This animation, very CG and very game, but I like it. I agree with what Ray said because I like this animation more than what Ghost in the Shell looks like, but we'll talk about that later.
It doesn't look that bad. Yeah,
no,
we'll talk about that.
It don't. This one looks actually great, and it reminds me of what's that game that's? It reminds me of Sword Art Online, but the game though, but much better.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, so I was thinking Guilty Gear for a minute. It looked a little bit like Guilty.
I agree.
Just tiny bit, but not a lot. But just in like the way that they do the 3D animation.
And also, this one seems like the characters move more smoothly and everything. And also with the ship and everything, with the water, nice animation. Remind me a lot about Vinland Saga. So it looks really cool. But like Ray said, I can't see too much without knowing the story. And also, there was no subtitles that were helpful. So I wouldn't know what it was talking about. So I'm like, yo,
I would catch
cool.
one word here and there, but I'm like, context, I don't have any, so I don't know what's happening.
So I'm like, I like the visuals, I like the story, but I don't know what the story is, so definitely thumbs up.
If you're watching this and you know what that's about, put it in the comments, tell us, because I have no idea. Inform me.
Yeah.
We don't know Japanese too well.
All I can do is echo what you guys said. Like, I like the animation, I like the way the characters are drawn, I like the character designs. I think the weapons look cool, but yeah, I mean, there's really not much to go off of in terms of what it's about.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So transitioning from that, so the studio that is going to be producing that anime is a new studio called Studio Bind. This is the money child, and I say money child because that's the money from White Fox and Egg Firm. They invested in to make this Studio Bind. So it looks good. That's a really strong start. So at least looks wise. We'll see how it actually goes. But that's kind of the next piece of news that we're talking about. Is just there's a lot to talk about with it, but I recommend you look it up about White Fox and Egg Firm investing to create this new Studio Bind because there's a lot of talented people who are going into this studio, and it looks like they're going to be making some pretty legitimate stuff. So just to name a few things that they worked on: Demon Slayer. They've also worked on Akame Got Kill, Attack on Titan, Sword Art Online. So just to name a few things that these people have worked on, is kind of some of the talent that's going into this new Studio Bind. So look forward to that. Check out Studio Bind. I think they're going to give us some cool stuff in the days to come.
Quick side thing. Still haven't seen Gurren Lagann. Just saying. One day I will watch it though. Cause
one day. I mean, you watch Promare, you can watch Gurren Lagann. You'll do it.
For sure.
It has so much similarities to Gurren Lagann, if you want to say that.
So you're going to watch it and you're going to enjoy it. It'll
yes,
happen.
I will.
Wait. It took me, I don't know, a year to watch.
I appreciate that.
Right. You're welcome. So now a little bit of a not so good news. We love Cowboy Bebop in this house. We do. Unfortunately, the live action production for the movie has been put on hold for 7 to 9 months. due to a freak accident, and John Cho was injured on set. And so he had to be flown back to, I think it was Los Angeles for surgery.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty long hold for this, and it could be longer depending on his recovery.
Agreed.
With this, and they didn't really talk about what happened, but they just said that it was not good. It was bad.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
it says is, and I don't like the words freak accident and extensive rehabilitation.
Thank you.
That's not good.
That does not sound good at all. I mean, I wonder why they wouldn't release what happened to him.
Unless he didn't want it out there.
That
which
too.
I can understand.
But
Yeah, that's true.
But that's also really respectful of the media.
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
Not a normal. It sounds bad. It sounds really bad.
I do agree with what James says, because once I read the article, I was like, who in the goddamn mind would have write freak accident? How about say in a tragic accident, John Cho hurt his leg, or just say this happened.
Sounds like he died.
Yeah, I mean that's worse.
That's worse. Or say or just say an accident. That's it. Or just say an accident, not freak accident. Like I feel like when he said freak accident, I feel like he got hit by some type of radioactive wave and become the Hulk. That's what I hear about freak accident.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of why you use that text. Bad enough, but you can't really detail what happens. You say freak accident, and you're like, oh, it could be anything.
True.
Almost,
but
it's not good. So,
overall,
sending some good vibes to John Cho for a quick and speedy recovery, because that does not sound like fun for anybody, especially for this production.
Agreed.
It seems like anime movies don't seem to be having a streak of good luck, and this does not add to that. So,
yep.
Yeah.
We'll keep thinking about that. We'll keep you updated.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I just wish we knew what it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just want to know, because I mean, something that'll keep you out from 7 to 9 months. I'm like, did he somehow tear his ACL?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, because unfortunately, what it sounds like to me, it could possibly be a production ending injury, and I don't think they want to talk about that or even think about that.
Agreed.
Which is scary. Because
they
already. And
Deadline reported in the article that this was a scene that they rehearsed a bunch of times, and then just on the take, it just went
bad. That's what I heard as well, and I heard that this also was during one of the last scene in the season, like one of the last scenes in the last couple episodes. So I assumed that this was one of the big action fight scenes that this was supposed to happen, because the show Cowboy Bebop, there's a lot of action scenes, and John Cho, he's a good age to do his own stunts as well. So maybe he decided to do his own stuff for this one, and maybe it didn't turn out well. Like James said, that they did rehearse a lot, but this one just came out a bad take, and I'm sad for that, because John Cho is a good guy, and he has a lot of good movies in his resume. So hopefully in a year from now we could discuss that. Hey, the production came back. We're gonna see it soon, sometime in 2021 or something like that.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, on a lighter note, I hear that King Vader would love to also reprise that role if he could.
Oh yeah.
Now moving on to something I know nothing about. Miguel is going to talk about A Love Is War season 2 was confirmed. So please tell me, what's that mean? Why is that a good thing?
All right, so I love how this was talking about, because we Animately did cover it on Twitter real quick, that it was rumor, and then an hour later it got confirmed. So I love how it just happened like that. An hour later that got confirmed. But overall, Kaguya-sama is about two people in a high school environment, where one person is the in the student council is the principal. I mean, not principal. Is the president, and the other one is the vice president. The president is a guy. The vice president is a girl. The vice president is a rich person. The president is a poor person who rides a bicycle to school. The vice president is the one that has a limo and a mansion and has rich parents. But both of them love each other, but they don't admit it, and that's why it's called Love Is War. And the intro is like a James Bond with a Deadpool vibe of an intro of season 1. So highly suggest, if you like that type of analysis or plug
tension,
it's very good too, and the side characters are very enjoyable. each episode of the season 1, it has like 2 parts, 3 parts of a story. Very enjoyable, good comedy, and this animation is done by A1 Pictures. So A1 Pictures has also done SAO. So the animation is very good, very clean as well. And this anime also has some type of narrator, like very old school type of animes used to have that, or plus movies as well. This anime has that, and plus the narrator always says, win some for this episode, this win goes to the president, this win goes to the vice president. So it's very enjoyable, very classy. I love it very much. It's still going on with the manga. I think it has about 100 chapters. So really suggest, if you want a good comedy drama that has some type of James Bond feel with good comedy aspect and also great rap beat, you will understand once you watch episode 3 or 4. I think has it. There's a girl that sings a rap beat and it's freaking awesome. It's entertaining. So that's why I'm very excited for season 2, because it's very enjoyable, and this was a great winter season of 2019. So hopefully you guys have seen it. If not, hopefully you guys get excited to what I did for probably one of my best trying to bring you to watch this anime, because I do horrible ones, but this is one of my best ones. Hopefully you guys were entertained by it.
I will say that this was Miguel explains an anime pretty okay. I'm interested in this. Good job.
Thank you.
I was like,
we're making it.
That actually doesn't sound bad.
We're making a lot of segments today for the future. But hopefully you guys watch it.
Good. So no, yeah, that sounds interesting to me. That sounds like something I'd be worth watching, because I don't really do a whole lot of like drama / like comedy or slice of life animes, but that sounds interesting enough to me.
This one is where you could just kick back, watch it, but also do other stuff at the same time, where you will laugh, have a good time, and just turn off your brain off and just have a good time. So I really highly suggest it, and I'm very excited for season 2 because it deserves it.
All right, James, have you watched season 1 of this at all, or are you interested in it after hearing that explanation?
I've never seen it, but I'm definitely interested.
Yes,
for sure.
I hooked it up.
2 for 2, Miguel. Wow, I'm good job. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Oh my god.
I has noticed you. So transitioning from war to tension and probably one of the best things we've seen this year, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, they've revealed another teaser for the movie for, I think, is it just called the Train Arc? Is possibly what it is, the Flame Arc or the Train Arc, one of the two.
It's called the Train Arc. Hopefully they come up with a better title of the movie, because it's just...
What is that? The Train Arc.
The train has a name, I think, and the name of the train is the name of the arc, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. But I mean, all I have to say about this, so it comes out in 2020, and all I can say is that more Demon Slayer is good.
Yes. And
please.
My favorite shot of this trailer was the pan shot going in inside the train and going inside different cars. Love that pan shot. I love how anime is using really good type of cinematography styles to use in anime, because it's been doing that.
Evolving, guys.
Yeah, it's been doing that very slowly. So I'm very happy about that, to see it in the aspect. So I'm really enjoying that, and I'm really happy to see it in anime, because it's like Rachel said, it's evolving, and I'm really happy about that.
I mean, yeah. Because we get that in 2020, and we also get the next in 2020.
Yep.
So 2020 is already lit. Yeah. And then we potentially are probably gonna. So yes, I'm feeling real good about 2020. Yeah. James, did you watch the teaser?
I did. I watched it a couple times.
Oh, a couple times.
So it's called the Infinite Train Arc. This is going to be absolutely dope. Obviously, we're going to see more of that demon, that what's his name, the head of the demons. I can't remember his name. Yeah. We're gonna see more of that demon that he gave a bunch of his blood to, and I don't know, man. It's gonna set up some cool stuff. Like, I read a couple of the pages of like the first chapter of this arc, and I'm really intrigued. I had to stop reading because I'm like, no, I want to watch this. But I'm very
told
intrigued.
Miguel before the show tonight, I'm real close to just saying heck it, and if by some grace of God I catch up on my hero before the end of the year, I'm gonna start Demon Slayer.
I'm in the same boat. I almost started reading Demon Slayer today, but I'm like, I have to catch up with My Hero. I'm like 80
I think
chapters behind.
The
catch up.
only one that I refuse to read
It's Attack on
is the only
Titan.
one. That is the only one I refuse to. Everything else is up for grabs. Attack on Titan is the only one that I will not read.
That's the one you should read above all.
No, I refuse.
Because I'm not gonna go off on too long of a tangent, but I think the Attack on Titan manga is the single greatest manga ever. Like,
says the guy with literally every volume
right behind me. Yes, of what I've read, and I've read a lot, but I think as far as a story goes and the complexity of the Attack on Titan stories and the arcs that it has, I can't think of a single manga that comes close to the complexity that is Attack on Titan.
That's some really
I have to agree with James here. As much as I love One Piece and everything, Oda is Goda to me. That's what we call him in the One Piece community. But
I'm never joining that community now. Y'all that's wow. Nope.
no, we do like his name is Oda, but we do call him Goda, because he is
Now
the
I'm
god. But I have to give it to Attack on Titan creator. I cannot pronounce his name correctly, so I'm not gonna pronounce it. But
Hajime
he is.
Isayama.
Yes, I'm not gonna try. I really do butcher it for some apparent reasons. I don't know why. But his series of Attack on Titan is very well done. Is really like been years planning. The way he has done his Twitter of showing his stuff that he has done already for the last panel, the last chapter is amazing. So I had to give props, and I definitely agree with James. But yeah.
Okay, we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind. Who knows? But things that I'm not gonna change my mind on: watching One Piece, the anime.
Speaking about that,
what's coming back? Funimation announced to return to the One Piece dub, and a bunch of nerds lost their minds.
I'm happy about that because
the Punk Hazard arc, and I have no idea what that means because I'm not there yet.
I have no idea what that means.
The Punk Hazard arc is after the Fisherman Island arc after the time skip. So how
many arcs is that? Is that like 15 arcs? Is that like 500 arcs? What's that?
Okay, hold up. Not 500 arcs there. Come on, Ray. We're not there at 500 arcs.
I mean, it's been going on for 5,000 years, so
technically, anime just made its 20th year anniversary technically last week. So shout out to One Piece making its 20th anniversary. And the manga made its 20th anniversary last year. So shout out to that. But that's already last year manga. Anime, shout out to that. So definitely happy about that. And happy for the dub to come back because that means the jobs came back for the dub characters. I'm really happy for that. But overall, I had a feelings because they said that they're gonna have One Piece Stampede coming out this week, coming up, technically tomorrow, where you guys are watching it. I'm watching it with Sam and with other people. I'm really excited for that because Stampede is having a sub and dub. So I'm like, wait a minute. So they had the time to do the dub translation for One Piece, but they haven't had the time to do the dub translation for the anime. What's going on? But then weeks later, hey, we're coming back with dub. Like, makes sense because you had a surprise for us. Makes sense. Makes total sense.
That means to me that they're about to make a big push for One Piece, like a big push.
As it should.
In the dub, that's a big deal for the American audience. So that means that there's going to be multiple video games. There's another one that's already coming out. So I'm sure we'll get another video game announcement.
Makes sense. Hopefully by episode something next year in the middle, I could convince the guys to be with the Goda as well and be reading One Piece or at least watching the dub at least.
You know, I already love the manga. Okay?
I know.
Oda is my boy. He's my guy. He makes manga what I think manga should be like. It's fun. It's a joy. It's hopeful characters. That's what I care about. You know,
technically,
he gets it.
Technically, he's one of the big three that still exist because
oh no,
because of Kubo, he's the last one. Because of Kubo, who the hell knows where he is, and Kishimoto, Samurai 8 is a hit. It's a hit miss for some people. We're still doing it on the channel because we're entertained somewhere or another.
I have not talked to anybody who likes it.
I'm here.
Outside of you guys, like any like people in the real world. Sorry.
Go on Twitter and just use hashtag Samurai 8 and trust me, you'll get people to comment on your tweet.
An echo chamber of people who like it. I don't want.
Makes sense.
I have a question for you guys.
What's up?
Yeah.
All of this new stuff coming out with One Piece, the Dragon Ball Super manga is becoming incredible. Do you think that we will see a soft reboot of Bleach, much like we got with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
Well, you mean overall redo and redone, or do you mean
No,
just
like a Brotherhood style of, which would be phenomenal. Because it would follow just the manga, which would be really good.
Yeah, like it follows the manga to a T, keeps it tight, keeps it perfect.
It would work so. Oh God,
With
Jay.
How many
updated
years-
animation,
I
like,
have never thought about that.
How
and
many
that
years has-
just makes me so excited?
how many years has Bleach ended already?
Bleach didn't end until like 2-3 years ago.
All right,
Yeah.
so if what James is saying, I will give it for a Bleach reboot of anime Brotherhood adaptation. I will give it 2022 to start because that will give a good time of the manga. Maybe
I need this to
maybe Akuba can come back and refix it. Something will happen because remember the light novel is coming out next year of the post of what happened with the series. So maybe that is a little hint of something coming.
That he's touching, and that's what I said the first time we talked.
Yeah. So
touching
maybe
it up to, like,
maybe with
yeah.
what James said could be happening, could be possible.
Look, there is
I
some.
think
there's
I
some
think it
incredible
would be
stuff
a
there.
wasted opportunity because I mean
would be.
they're doing a soft reboot of Yu Yu Hakusho. Well, we don't know when it's happening, but it's happening, and it's like I mean it would be a wasted opportunity to just not do anything with Ichigo ever again. And I feel
And I
like
feel like Bleach now would hit just right. I think at this point, like it would the story it tells would just it would hit.
And plus the animation will help it a lot because remember Bleach back then had the 480 and that kind of like it's still entertaining for us older generation audience that grew up with it, but the new generation that's watching like 480p that's whack. I want to see the
I
1080
would be
nice.
afraid that they would use a lot of CGI, so I would hope that they don't.
Hopefully not.
But
Hopefully not.
James, I'm really happy that you said that because that man, that would wow, a Brotherhood style Bleach would be perfect because Bleach is still one of my all-time favorite manga / anime. Period.
Yeah.
Like it has some missteps, but it was so good. Great video games and everything.
yeah.
Speaking of great video games and what I hope might be a good video game, did you know that there's a Fairy Tail RPG coming out? I mean, I know you guys knew this, but for those of you who are listening or watching this, Fairy Tail has a new JRPG that's coming out. And they just showed off 19 play, and guess what? Looks like a JRPG.
This coverage was very funny.
It was kind of cringy, but I was like, you get what you get. I'm glad that this game is happening. It looks good. I was talking to you guys earlier, and I was like, they took some stuff from Persona, so they learned from one of the best JRPGs ever in that respect. It looks good, but then they have the weird open world, but like sectioned off anime thing that anime games do, and I'm like, stop this. There's a better way to do this. You have these big open areas that literally there's nothing in, and you're just making us walk around for no reason.
Dude, this is like what happens with movies. It's like, well, this one thing works. Some people might bitch about it, but this works. We sell copies, so we're just gonna do that with our titles.
Yeah.
Boom. That's it. It's ridiculous, and which is why I'm so excited for a game like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That's just so different and actually is going to give fans something that's
because
really
it leans
cool with
into
the open
what
world
that show
concept.
is.
Yeah, exactly. This does not interest me in the slightest.
I like the gameplay, but yeah, I'm also.
I think the graphics are not appealing, especially for where we are today. Not interested.
I agree with James here because I feel like if they took another year, they could have made the graphics better. As a Fairy Tail fan, I like it. But My Hero One Justice 2 attracts me more. And the graphics aren't that great either.
But that's a glow up compared to the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fairy Tail RPG, if they took another year and not try to rush this, then maybe they can actually get something more bigger and actually have better graphics. Take your time, like, hey, nobody really asked for a Fairy Tail RPG, but nobody asked for it. Take your time.
Literally nobody asked for this. When they announced it, I was like, oh, that's the series you chose? Okay.
Oh, let me guess. How do you beat the final boss? Hit the friendship button.
You know that it's a special attack. Fill the friendship gauge, and it's an overall big friendship attack. It's gonna happen. I guarantee you.
Wow.
Oh man, so I don't know. if you haven't watched it already, I encourage you, if you are a fan of Fairy Tail, you encourage you to watch this new gameplay. It looks very reminiscent of One Piece World, and you know how I feel about that game if you've been listening to this show at all. If you're a fan, you'll settle and be comfortable with it, but overall, not something that's gonna get too many people to buy a Fairy Tail JRPG.
Agreed.
Unfortunately. But somebody did buy a bunch of stuff. Somebody spent a lot, and that
And
was
too much.
Netflix spent a lot. They don't have, but they still spending money. So recently, Netflix announced their anime lineup at their 2019-2020 presentation, and in Tokyo, and they announced a lot of anime. And I'm just gonna go through the names real quick, and we'll talk about the ones that we really want to talk about. So they announced the new Seven Seeds second season. They announced a Ghost in the Shell standalone complex series. This is a new show called Eden. There's a new one called Levius. I probably just ruined the name. Here's the one that James liked, The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. It's the restart arc. That's season 2 for that. They announced an Altered Carbon anime, which makes sense. If you look at that show, it seemed very anime. Then let's see. The Canister of an Insect Cage anime. Sounds like a terrible name, but okay. That's what that is. So anime, not anime wise, but Netflix, I think I read somewhere said that they spent $15 billion with a B on content, and they spent a lot of that on anime.
Makes
That's
sense.
insane to me.
Makes sense why they're in
Let's see
depth.
if I can find that real quick, because it was a ridiculous number. And I think it was 15 billion.
That's a lot. That sounds a little crazy.
It
But
does sound crazy.
it makes sense because most of the animation that we mentioned, other than Seven Seeds, is mostly CG. Most of the animation most of it is CG, and I'm not gonna give too much text to Ghost in the Shell because I don't want to be too rude on it because I know James is a big fan. So while
No, please do.
all right,
and this was an article written back. They're saying that purportedly they're planning on spending 15 billion content for the whole year of 2019. That still seems like a lot of money.
so what I heard is that
That I believe 15 billion just on anime. That was a bit.
Well, I think it was more like that anime was included in that 15 billion.
Gotcha.
But like it was like
what I
that's
heard.
a lot of content.
Well, I heard that with this anime only, they spent 2 billion. With these announcements, they spent 2 billion is what I heard. With
That's
these,
still a lot of money.
is with these animes, it definitely is a lot of anime. But first, I want to hear James' thoughts about Ghost in the Shell.
So this might actually be the first CG anime that doesn't make me cringe.
Gasp.
I was looking at the exterior animations. I'm like, it's not great, but when they gave the close up on Major, I'm like, I don't hate this.
It didn't look bad because it actually looked good. Yeah.
And we were talking about this before the podcast, but I'm such a Ghost in the Shell fanboy
He is.
that maybe I'm just dealing with it because I love Ghost in the Shell so much. But I mean, it didn't offend me. It didn't look like shit to me. I thought Major looked fine for CG as best as it could be, and I'm gonna watch it. So
there you go. That's all that matters. You gotta watch it.
Definitely same for me. I'm gonna still watch it. Still haven't seen any of the Ghost in the Shell, even though I have all the Blu-rays and DVDs in behind the computer here. Definitely have all of them. Yeah, I'll try not to die. But overall, the CG animation kind of bothered me a bit. It felt like very old school, stale CG animation, but Major looks good. The other stuff behind her is where it bothers me. It looked like some type of Grand Theft Auto, old school Xbox, PS3, PS2 type of graphics. That's what it reminded me of.
Interesting. That's a very interesting place you just took that. Okay.
I know, right? It just reminded me of it just threw me there in the loop. But sure, that's where I'm gonna take it. Let's go.
And again, like we talked about before the podcast, CG is cheap. It is cheaper to do it that way than to have, an artist or several artists go in and draw everything and do the illustrations, the storyboards, and animating it, putting it together. Just put it all in CGI. Put some guys in a room on a computer, build it out that way. It'll be cheap because it's all digital.
And notice he said cheap. He didn't say easy because it's still difficult to do.
Oh,
just for the folks who might be like, oh, what do you mean? And it's gonna be easy? No, it's cheap. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And I agree with these guys because I have done animation, and the reason I say I don't do it is because I know how to do it. I just one pose of like first pose, and then a guy doing this could take up to 30 minutes to 2 hours. It's not easy, guys. So do not critique animation. Just because it's cheap, like James is saying, don't mean it's easy. It's still difficult.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of time.
My girlfriend knows an animator who worked on just the movement of water for a year.
It's
Like,
not easy.
A year of his life was just
My
animating.
man stared at water for a year.
It
Man,
is hard, bro. When you think about films like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, that took 5 years
It did.
for them to get the animation done and get it right.
Man, you
Like,
really gotta love those characters.
crazy.
I'm sure that dude really loved her.
I mean,
Could never stare at a lake again.
yes. I never want to see water. I can't.
Don't give me water, just juice.
Just
That's
juice.
it. Tired of water.
So I mean, of this list of stuff that we just looked at, what? So outside of Ghost in the Shell, do any of the other ones interest you at all?
For me,
I watched the trailer for Eden, and that one looks interesting. But everything else, I'm kind of like, I might watch Psyche K because James glowed about the first season, so I might watch that. But everything else, I'm kind of like,
For me, I will also watch the disastrous life of CK as well because I have to support his love even though he's crazy for Isekichi musician. I have
never. No.
I have to give my 2 thumbs up for Altered Carbon because I love the live action from Netflix. It was very good, entertaining. I had a few bugs with the story plot, but it definitely fits for the anime. I could tell because that's you transfer your mind and everything. CG animation style works because it's very cyberpunk futuristic, so it makes sense why that one is CG. So I like it. Seven Seeds being season 2 makes sense. It's because in Japan the main character is a girl, it's a woman, and Japan loves that. And Seven Seeds is one of the top rated manga series and anime in Japan. I think it's in the top 30 in the ranking. So it makes sense why it got a second season. So those are my 2 that stood out for me out of the list.
So I will say I'm excited for Eden because I did like the trailer.
I will know.
The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. I mean, it's just so much fun. I said it before in the podcast. If you really want an anime that's just a lot of fun, there's no real plot to think about. It's just Psyche and his adventures with his friends. It's a really nice palate cleanser. It's really fun to watch. So I'm really excited for that. Altered Carbon is made for anime. And I say that because the type of story that it is, I feel like anime writers can make something really cool. And then there's things that you can do in animation that you just can't do live action that would just elevate what is already a really cool story in Altered Carbon. So I'm really, really excited for those 3.
Okay. I mean, well, Netflix, you gotta earn my dollars. HBO Max is doing a really good job. Has justify yourself now. I got too many. Gotta get that figured out. Well, with that, gentlemen, that's gonna round out episode 25. I mean, if that's just what that episode actually is, but this is what we're gonna call it. This was a good episode.
It definitely was.
Sam, I miss you. But we'll see you next time. I'm sure we'll have to resurrect you with some form of Phoenix Down or Monster Born, which is a banned card, but I would do it for you, BD. All right, but you know how this works. James, tell us where to find you on the internet. Where can all these nerds find you and what you do?
Yeah, you guys can follow me all over social media at C4Spoilers. Literally, the best way to find me is just to head over to kefaforspoilers.com. You can find all of the articles that we write. Actually, just did a review on chapter 122 of Attack on Titan. We also talk about movies, TV shows, pretty much everything. We'll be covering the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossovers, so keep your eyes out for that. We are still doing our Road to Halloween series. The next movie that we will be reviewing is actually going to be Us, directed by Jordan Peele. So that's going to be a really fun episode. And then we're going to be moving on to The Shining and Halloween. And we're going to be talking about a lot of cool, scary, and creepy movies. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and guys, follow me on social media at Legend Dash everywhere if you want to be up to date. Join the Discord server as well of Anime Lately, because I'm always there and active, and in many different other servers. And additionally, the Rise of Skywalker, cool trailer. James covered it too. Check that out.
Oh yeah, I mean we could have talked about that for another 30 minutes, but we didn't. Anyway, I am your imposter with James, well, with Sam not being here. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you hated it, tell Sam it's not my fault. Anyway, I am Ray Apollo. That's RayApollo, and that's a capital A, not a small a. So it's Ray Apollo, not a chicken. Okay. So recently, I have started playing a few different games here and there on the stream. I'm a Twitch streamer by trade, and we're about to start the Outer Worlds, and I can't wait. It's an Obsidian RPG first-person shooter, and so if you like Fallout New Vegas, what I've heard, you're gonna love this. So I'm starting that playthrough on Friday. Call of Duty also comes out tomorrow night. So I'm back in it, baby. First person shooters all the day long.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you so much, Ray, for hosting the show. You're a great host. And listeners, please support Ray on Twitch. He is amazing on Twitch. He has a great personality. He's great at gaming. Please follow him over there. And of course, subscribe to this podcast. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to head over to the Anime Lately YouTube channel. These guys put in so much work. They make
put in the
so
time.
many videos every single day. So please go ahead and support them over there.
Oh,
They
thank you
make it-
guys, but definitely support Ray as well because he's too entertaining.
Yeah, support Ray too. He's fine, I guess.
Yes, he is the best. He is, but overall, Ray, thank you for being a good host. You are fantastic.
thanks.
You are entertaining, and you are a great gentleman. Smile.
Smile. All right, well, let me try and give Sam's outro. Go. All right. Hello there, Anime Geeks. We want to know what your thoughts on the podcast. We're doing a fantastic job. Go that 5-star review on iTunes, so that way one day we might have ads and sponsors to help keep this podcast going, because extra money from them sponsors will always help us do more for you. All right, money makes the world go round, and so does this podcast. Trust me. If you write a review, we'll give you guys a shout out on the podcast and answer any questions almost that you might have on the podcast as well. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitch, and Patreon. That's Anime Lately. And follow our other social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram. That's Anime Lately _. All right. So find us everywhere. Also support that Patreon, because sometimes behind the scenes videos go up on that Patreon. So you don't know. You got to go subscribe to find out, though. So just wink, wink, hint, hint. All right. Anime Lately is also primarily a YouTube channel where they do video reviews, live actions, and other kinds of anime and manga related videos. Be sure to check them out, like James said, because these boys put in that work. More work than most people do on the internet. Trust me, and they deserve all of your support. Okay? Check them out. And if you like what you see, like the videos, subscribe to the channels, and comment and let us know what you have to say. I mean, y'all are very opinionated, especially you manga boys. I'm talking to you specifically. Make sure that you hit that bell and turn on those notifications, because if you don't know when the videos go up, how you gonna watch them? That's all I'm saying. So make sure you do that. We appreciate you. And thank you for listening to / watching this episode. And we will see you next time. Peace.